Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yo, listen, you hear that? Killers in the jungle.
Just 1 month before the fight that has the internet buzzing, we've received an exciting gift that undoubtedly raises expectations. Netflix, the platform responsible for streaming the event, has just released a trailer that shows why the fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson will overshadow every other event in combat sports. The event will stream live on Netflix from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, on November 15th. It follows a 3-part documentary about the lead-up to the showdown, called Countdown: Paul vs. Tyson. The first 2 episodes of this docu-series will drop on Netflix on November 7, with the finale releasing on November 14th, a day before the fight.
Last question. Do you look at him like a boxer, Mike, or is he a guy who was a YouTuber who was now fights?
I look at him as a very dangerous opponent, and I'm looking forward to extinguishing him.
Mike Tyson considers his upcoming opponent Jake Paul a dangerous fighter, but still vows to extinguish him on the fight night. While some people still might doubt Jake Paul when it comes to boxing, Mike Tyson sure doesn't, because the boxing legend told TMZ Sports the problem child is a dangerous opponent ahead of their November fight. That doesn't mean he doesn't expect to whoop his ass. 58-year-old Tyson, whose last sanctioned pro bout was in 2005, spoke with TMZ Sports a month before his November 15th event against Paul, Netflix's first ever foray into the sport. Of course, it was originally scheduled for July, but Tyson experienced an ulcer flare-up. Iron Mike says he's all good now, and he certainly looked like it after sharing a training video on his Instagram. "I'm ready right this second," Tyson said this week. "Training is going well. I'm ready right now. Everything else is just incidental talking. It's about the action. I'm ready now." Tyson isn't taking this fight lightly either. Paul, famously known for his YouTube stardom, has a 9-1 pro record, with his only loss coming in February 2023 against Tommy Fury. Tyson, on the other hand, hasn't had any type of fight since his exhibition against Roy Jones Jr. in 2020. "All my intentions are bad," Tyson said about fighting Paul in the ring. "I look at him as a very dangerous opponent, and I'm looking forward to extinguishing him." Jake Paul has insisted it's Mike Tyson or no one, amid fears the pair's highly anticipated showdown on November 15th could be scrapped, with fears mounting about the heavyweight legend's health. Paul was given a huge setback earlier this summer after Tyson was forced to postpone their huge matchup on his doctor's orders after suffering with nausea while on a flight, with fans hoping the 57-year-old does not delay the fight for a second time. But YouTuber Paul has allayed fears about Tyson, pointing out that he is having a great camp.
You know, it's Mike Tyson or nothing, but first and foremost, he's healthy and feeling amazing and doing great in camp. And so, you know, just being weeks away, I don't see anything going wrong, and November 15th is a go.
Paul later outlined that Canelo Alvarez is the fighter he would like to come up against in the future, regardless of what happens with his fight against Tyson. Paul has called out Canelo in the past, but he talked up a huge fight against the Mexican once again, vowing to shock the whole world if the pair got in a ring together. "Everything I've said has come true, and why Canelo, should be awake at night because I'm coming for him," Paul told TMZ. "The fight is going to happen, and I will win and shock the whole entire world. And this is me currently speaking it into existence." He further added, "People will sit there and listen to that and be like, oh, he's crazy. But I was crazy when I said I'd be doing the biggest fights, when I would beat Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva, all of these things. So you're crazy until you're not." Canelo is considered one of the greatest boxers in history after winning world title belts in 4 different divisions, losing just 2 of his 66 bouts. Jake Paul's girlfriend, Judah Leardom, has admitted that the problem child could get knocked out by boxing legend Mike Tyson in their clash next month. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, she said, "The progression Jake has made is not normal. Other athletes, they make a few percentage points of progression a year, if at all. Jake makes so much in a year, so I do trust his skills. I'm very proud of him." But of course, Mike Tyson could give one punch that is harder than Mike has ever thrown, and it will be lights out for Jake. Former mixed martial artist, referee, and bare-knuckle boxer Chris Lieben shared his perspective on the upcoming clash, and said that Paul is nowhere near Tyson's level, but emphasized that age is a major factor we should consider. He believes that Jake Paul will eventually get his hands raised against Tyson as he is younger and more fresh.
I don't want to say anything, but listen, because obviously we all love Mike Tyson. He's old though, man. Jake can hit. Jake can hit. I think that fight can play out a couple different ways, but I think the longer it goes, I I think Jake might be able to catch him. We'll see.
Wow.
Yeah, because I heard Jake got really good cardio, and
I mean, he's not a terrible boxer. I've watched all his fights. He's not a great boxer. He's nowhere near where Mike Tyson was. You know, if it was a 16-year-old Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul now, I would put every penny on that Mike Tyson. But
Of course.
But age is a motherfucker, dude.
BJ Flores knows Jake Paul as well as anyone from a professional perspective after spending a sustained period of time as the fighter's trainer. Flores himself was a world-class cruiserweight contender when active, with his most notable fight being a loss to Tony Bellew for world title honors in 2016. His run as Paul's coach would often put him in the spotlight, and now he's had his say on how Paul versus Tyson could play out. "Have you ever heard the term, 'don't poke the bear'? Don't make him too angry," said Flores when speaking to Fred Talks Fighting. "If Jake stays outside and boxes, taunts, and feints and uses his legs a little bit to get Mike tired, I think he's going to beat him for sure." He further added, "If he gets on the inside with that low center of gravity that Tyson has and his explosive shots, I don't care how old he is, he can still knock you out. He's not going to have the gas tank he wants to have, no question about it, but he's going to be dangerous early. Jake's got to respect that, stay long, and don't poke the bear." Rampage Jackson expressed his strong support for Mike Tyson, his favorite boxer. Despite Tyson's health issues and aging, Rampage remained confident that he wouldn't bet against him. He acknowledged that anything can happen in the ring, but emphasized his loyalty to Tyson and his admiration for the champion's legacy.
Man, I'd never bet against Mike Tyson. He's my favorite boxer.
Yeah. You think he can, he's had a health scare and everything. He's only getting older.
Yeah. Father time undefeated, but you know what I'm saying, I still ain't gonna go against Mike Tyson against Jake Paul. Anything can happen in the boxing ring, but I ain't gonna go against Mike Tyson.
Former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou has given his verdict on who he thinks will win the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Being interviewed by Paul himself on his own podcast, BS with Jake Paul, the Predator was asked his thoughts on the fight, among other topics. Ngannou himself made his boxing debut in an impressive performance against Tyson Fury last year and trained with Iron Mike in the lead-up to that bout. He claims that the 58-year-old has still got it. This led the problem child to challenge Ngannou on the topic when speaking to him on his podcast. Jake said, "You spoke to some reporter yesterday or the day before, and you said that Mike Tyson is going to beat my ass." Ngannou responded without hesitation, saying, "I do. Listen, I have seen Tyson move around to show me stuff, and I was like, calm down, he has still got it. We're talking about Mike, bro. Mike is something else, he is a specimen." Curtis Blades was so displeased with the fight that he said he wouldn't even watch it if it happened on July 20th. In an interview, when asked about his thoughts on the matchup and whether he planned to watch it, Blades called it a joke fight and stated that he wouldn't be tuning in.
"I will not be watching. I think it's a joke fight. You could tell just by how they've been interacting with the face-offs and the press conference. That's not the Mike Tyson who's coming to rip your head off. It ain't Iron Mike."
Ahead of this bout, a former rival of the YouTuber has made a bold prediction about the fight. Ben Askren, who fought Paul in his third pro match, believes the YouTuber-turned-boxer will win, but acknowledges Tyson's undeniable legacy. "I feel like that's how it's going to go. It's going to be competitive early," Askren told Daniel Cormier. 58 is old, and he's probably going to get tired, and yeah, it's not a win-win. You're beating up a 58-year-old. He's 58. He hasn't been actively competitive in 20 years. Wouldn't we all love to see it? Tyson winning? Let's not get our hopes up," the former MMA star added. "Santa may not bring you anything nice, but if he does, it'll be a great surprise." Joseph Parker also thinks that Tyson is too old to fight now. He believes the saying of power going last, but also questions how much power is left when you're 58 years old. He said that Mike Tyson has trained hard and is in good shape, but it will be a hard fight to watch.
Listen, I'm all for boxing and all for big fights, but Mike Tyson is a legend, and no matter how great he was in the past with the ferocious style that he had and punches that he thrown and knocking everyone out, 58 years old is old for a fighter. And Jake Paul has the youth on the side, and with each fight he is getting better and better. So it's just, I think it's a hard fight to watch. It will be a hard fight to watch because you just don't want to see Mike. If Mike comes out and knocks him out, then we're going to be like, listen, he's, so the power, I think, is the last thing to go. But at 58 years old, how much power is left? And, we do see short clips, but you're right, we're not sure what happens before and after these clips. Yeah. So we'll see.
Anthony Joshua is praying that Mike Tyson emerges healthy from his fight with Jake Paul, admitting that the YouTube star may have the edge. Tyson is older now. I pray that he comes out healthy, Joshua said on the Jonathan Ross show. I think Jake Paul wins because of youth, that's the only thing. Speaking about influencer boxing more generally, the former heavyweight champion Joshua added, I personally think it's really good. I think the boxing hardcores, they don't like it because they think, why are they disrespecting our sport? But I think that influencer brings all these people into boxing, which benefits everyone else. Everyone viewing helps. Promoter Ben Shalom thinks that Mike Tyson is taking a huge risk for stepping in the ring with Jake Paul as he is too old to fight now. He said, I'm all for entertainment, but where it stops for me is when it makes a mockery of the sport. When you think about the dedication that fighters put into their professional craft, you don't want that to then be taken the peanings out of. Having a 58-year-old in a professional boxing fight is clearly not professional, and that's where the line has to be drawn for these fights. He further added, it's okay for entertainment, but for me it's a major step too far, making it pro. It is a circus act. You couldn't get anything more ridiculous. When they try to take each other's heads off, there are then a lot of medical risks for an older fighter, Tyson. UFC star Colby Covington was strongly opposed to the fight, worried about Mike Tyson's health given the age difference. Covington thought the bout might hurt Tyson's legacy, and even accused Jake Paul and his brother Logan Paul of using steroids. Tony Bellew has also weighed in on the bout, expressing his desire to see Tyson secure a quick victory. However, Bellew has also warned Jake Paul to be cautious and not overstep any boundaries. Speaking to Boyle Sports, Bellew said, Mike is probably getting between 20 million pounds to 50 million pounds for this fight. I'm not going to lie. I'd do it. Everyone has got a price. But if Jake Paul hurts Mike Tyson, it would absolutely kill me. If he hurt Mike Tyson and I then run into Jake Paul, I'd chin him, quite happily. I would even spend a couple weeks in the big house for that. Bellew wasn't pleased with Jake Paul facing an older Mike Tyson and hoped Tyson would knock Paul out quickly to prevent any potential harm. It's a sad, sad day. It's not a professional contest really because only women fight 2-minute rounds, men do not fight 2 minutes. But Jake Paul is so headed that he wants it to go on Mike Tyson's record. Hopefully, Mike chins him and puts him to sleep in 6 or 7 seconds. So, what do you think about this? Do you think the problem child will get his hands raised against the baddest man on the planet? Share your thoughts in the comments section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoy.